that she is a psychotic killer, they're going to tell you that we are also guilty because we support her. But
no, nobody says that you're guilty because you support her. You're guilty when you cover for her by lies. Her DNA was on the outside of that sock. You're guilty of lying.
I don't understand the thought process behind that, and that's not realistic because there's not any reason why every single person watching this wouldn't support their family if their family was wrongfully convicted.
And no matter what, remember that this is Danelle's truth.
Yep, it's Danelle's truth.
This is her story. Danelle's not on trial, you guys.
Yeah, she's not on trial. Neither am I. All right?
And no matter what anybody thinks,
supporting her family.
yes, and I 100%, with all my heart and soul, without any shadow of a doubt, think that Darlie is innocent. And I am going to do everything in my power to support an innocent person that was wrongfully convicted, as every single one of you should do as well. Never would I tell my child to sit down and allow something wrong to continue. I would tell them to...
Well, your fucking mother did. Your fucking mother told her her 8-year-old daughter to sit down. She didn't protect her child. What does your family do to stand up for the wrongfully abused? They let it happen. And you protect him to this day, and you say he's not a molester.
Stand up and fight with it and use your whole chest. Fight
Use your whole chest.
with everything in you if something is being done wrong to somebody you love.
Now wait a minute. How come your mother didn't do that when Darlie said that your daddy was molesting her? You came back and said he's not a molester. So you're not doing everything in your power to protect Darlie there, are you? You're basically telling the public that she lied on the stand. You're protecting your daddy. You're not protecting Darlie.
Because we don't let somebody go down for no reason.
Oh, no. Dennis went down. You protected him. You didn't call the police on him.
Like, we're going to support and we're going to fight until the right thing is done.
You're going to support and you're going to fight until the right thing is done. Well, how about you get your dad to admit what he did to your daughter or to his stepdaughter?
That's always been how I've raised. I was never raised to be quiet and let things just go.
Well, your mom was quiet and just let the molesting go. So how, are you lying about how you're raised?
If it's from a very strong family of women, definitely. I mean, people that know your mom know that she can be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, God, she ain't no force to be reckoned with. She's all mouth. She's a liar just like her daughter. She told Danelle that she got a restraining order on me because Danelle said, "How'd you like that restraining order that my mom got on you?" She never got one on me. She went down to Coffin County and tried to press charges on me, and they fucking laughed at her.
And she's made it very clear. And honestly, in my heart, I believe 100% that Darlie's innocent, and I think that's really a great way for me and you to talk about this. But then, me and Arabia, maybe when she gets her followers up, we can do, do a panel and talk about it. But we want there to be a discussion. We're tired of hateful comments, harassment, people saying that you're lying.
Oh, she is lying. And harassment. Look at your fat ass under my comment section, bitch.
Everybody has their own theories. Like we said, there's certain things about the case that we will never know. There are cases where unless you were a fly on the wall, you didn't know everything that happened. That's why you stick with the evidence and not with the character of Darlie. That's a very good point to make. I think that's...
Oh. You guys are so fucking hypocritical.
It's a good point to end on. You stick with the evidence, not anything character related to Darlie as a person.
Right. Then you stick with the evidence in the case. and not on the character of the person that is debating you on the case. Because when I try to debate you on the case, what about Tico? What about your son? What about your criminal? What about this? What you don't You're going on character. You are such a fucking fat ass hypocrite.
I want to get out there that Greg Davis and Toby Shook never sat with Darlie and had any kind of conversations with Darlie.
The prosecutors normally don't speak with the defendant. That's normal.
Yes, and they developed this persona of this very mean, vile, self-centered, irrational, psychotic person. And then they took that image that they created of this.
And the jury saw that, and they agreed.
Person, and they made that person as mean and as evil as possible.
That's like what you're trying to do to me by telling people that I'm an evil person who twists the facts? Is that what you're trying to do?
To everybody that would listen.
To anybody that was listening. Let me tell the world about this guy right here, BryanSt.John. He is evil. All right? You can't stick with the facts with me.
So that it was understandable or acceptable to think that this sweet little tiny blonde could potentially kill two of her own children for absolutely no reason. And
well, you want us to believe that somebody randomly walked into that house and killed her two children for absolutely no reason.
Now you call it clickbait, but that's what the news used. Her character assassination brought in way more viewers than them being like, oh my gosh, this.
And they didn't know her. It came from people that didn't know her. Anybody, I would challenge anybody here that's watching this to find somebody that really genuinely knew Darlie that didn't like her. Or somebody that knew Darlie that thought she was capable of even hurting an animal. Because that's not who she is. If you find
definitely 100% valid issues with the handling of the case, very valid issues, and like we said, even though Arabia, she believes that Darlie is guilty, that doesn't mean that we cannot have a discussion.
Well, why not then? You can't. I've challenged. I've tried to have discussions with Danelle, and she turns to insult right away. I've proved it. Because you don't want to hear the truth.
We want everybody to be kind in this space. We want to be able to talk about this. I am here to give Danelle and Darlie support. I do talk to Darlie. She's a sweetheart. Last week, after we escaped from the fires and everything, I told her, hey, let me put some money in your commissary. You know what she told me? She said, Anna, you do so much for so many other people. Why don't you go treat yourself and get a pedicure?
She's got other people to give her money. She don't need your fucking $20.
And so, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what person? And last time we did the live, she was Instacart. She was having you put together an Instacart for one of her friends that's moving into a new home.
Yep.
Yeah, that's because she gets all that supporter money. Where you guys are asking for money all the time. And you need it for DNA, you need it for this, and it goes to Darlie, and she gives it to her friends. It says that that it comes from her. Good on Darlie. That's good. That people are sending her hard-earned money to her, and she's giving it away to other inmates.
She's very cool.
How's she very generous? She doesn't get any state pay in there. So how's she very generous? Where's she working at? Where's she getting that money that she's very generous with? She's getting it from other very generous people who send it to her.
And a lot of things for a lot of people. And people have asked me, people that stood by her, or, do her friends still stand by her? I said, every single person that knew her, Julia Clark, Karen Neal up until the point she unfortunately died. Melanie Waite still goes and cleans up the boys' graves. These were all people that knew her very well.
What about Mercedes Adams?
Now we can talk about Barbara in another episode too, because we could go into Barbara for probably an hour.
You're gonna have to go into Barbara for probably an hour. They're upset about that interview where Barbara's just flat,
And because that's very convoluted. But anybody that does, and the fact that Darren's parents and Cyrilda Routier, who was a lovely woman, said that she did not believe that Darlie was guilty to the day she died. I think so.
Yeah? Well, what's she supposed to say when she's raising Drake? Would you want to be raised by some people who kept telling you your mother killed your sons? And who is, when I had Cyrilda on, I tripped her up so bad. First she said Darlie was a really light, sweet sleeper. And then 5 minutes later she said she was a heavy sleeper. But she was a sweet person. But I think that she maintained the innocence of Darlie. I think she did that for Drake. I think that's how good a person she is.
States more than anecdotal stories. And I've read in some of the other groups that, they had the police called on them because this and this and this. You have to remember, guys, after this happened, this family was torn apart.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to remember that when somebody goes through that, the family be torn apart. Yeah. Yeah, why don't you think about that a little bit while you're around your fucking mouth.
And Dana, I think, felt, and I don't want to step on toes, but I think she felt really guilty about the silly string incident. And
No, Dana felt guilty because she said she left the window open. Dana didn't press the button.
She was 16, 17 at this time. That's hard being a teenager. Now your sister's been taken away. Now you feel guilty because you supplied the silly string that character assassinated her, that they took and spun into such a wicked, vile thing. And so, yeah, every family has fights. Every family has, and that's what we were talking about last night. When you look through the list of evidence, there's evidence in their house that, yeah, they had adult toys and stuff. Who cares? Who cares? Anybody's sex life go through, you're gonna find.
Yeah, who cares about anybody's sex life, right? Who cares what websites they join? Who cares when it comes to Darlie, right?
Find shit. Everybody is an adult, and those are all legal things. She was a married woman. She had the right to do whatever she wanted.
She was a married woman. She had the right to do whatever she wanted. She had a bag of dildos, and her response to that was that she will not apologize for loving her husband. I don't know. I think with all them dildos, you're loving yourself a little more than you are your husband.
And so, they loved each other. They had a good, healthy sex life. There was
Yeah, so do we. So do me and my wife. But mine has been brought under scrutiny.
no infidelity. There was no outside relationships. There was no questionable, interactions with other members.
I mean, what is the motive?
There is no motive. There was absolutely no motive.
What would the motive for an intruder be?
And there's always a motive. I don't care what anybody says. I know you don't have to prove it.
Okay, so what's the intruder's motive?
The state of Texas, but there is always a reason why somebody does something, especially at this level.
Okay, so why did the intruder do that?
It's not like stealing a candy bar. You know what I mean? There's always a reason.
So what's the reason the intruder did it?
Right. The toys weren't used against. No, they weren't. But I'm just stating that since I posted the evidence logs, you'll see them in there, and I'm just stating. I could have redacted it, but you know what? I think that we should be telling the truth here. There's nothing to hide. Who cares?
We've never hit them.
Then somebody said one time I got my purse searched and they found one. How mortifying.
So bad. That's like a fear. Going to the airport and something in a pocket somewhere
Well, it's about 7, so I know you're finishing up at your kids' games. My kiddo just came in here with a baseball bat. He's probably about to beat me up.
He's ready to go play, Mom. He wants ball.
Oh my God, she's got a violent child.
Are you want to go play? He wants to go blow bubbles. We're really into bubbles right now.
Oh, sweet baby.
Get him some silly string. I hear kids love it.
And hide and seek. And my new parenting hack is when we play hide and seek.
Oh my God, she's letting that kid run around by himself while she's on the internet talking about Darlie. Kathy Ramsey. Remember, Kathy? I was talking about Darlie too much, and I wasn't paying attention to my kids, and you were going to call CPS for that. Oh my God, look at her.
I have like 2 or 3 places in the house where he can't find me for a really long time, and so I get
Where can you hide at anywhere? You kid blind?
like a 30-minute nap. So somebody could take this and say and twist this around on me and be like, "You're such a bad parent."
Because you go hide and take a nap?
I mean, literally, on one of my other friends, or somebody that I'm friends with on TikTok, these people were mom shaming her over feeding her kid a Lunchable, telling her there's a kid chemicals and you're sitting there eating sushi and you fed your kid a Lunchable. What a terrible mother! I jumped in those comments just like you said, Danelle. If there's somebody saying, I said, you're really gonna mom shame somebody over feeding their kid a freaking Lunchable? I said, get out of here.
You fucking dad shame people, bitch. Alright, bye. I just wanted to watch these two. They remind me of the 2 old men in Sesame Street that sit up in the balcony and point at everybody.